All right, guys, I got started a little bit later, but the council meeting is just about to start. I am in LaSalle, Illinois, at the city hall. I normally try to go a little sooner, but I didn't. Didn't work out. We were in a rush. So the mayor just came in. They got some wanky problem with the door. Allegedly, the handicap button is on, but not fully working. Hey, Deb. I only got like a hot second out here. So we'll see. Per usual, I do have a speech prepared. And I'm full of anxiety. You know me. Hey, Mutt. If you guys don't know, Justice Jake's other nickname has been Mutt since we were kids. You can ask him why. Hi, Carl. Johnny, poor dirt farmer, what's up? ITN, what's up, buddy? So, I do plan on somebody else's speech being pretty damning for sure at the end and throughout. So if you hear me bust out in laughter and get yelled at, I can't make any promises. Um, I should have taken my allergy pills. I found out that's what was wrong with me when my eyes kept watering and stuff. But I didn't. So gum will have to do, you know me chomping the whole time. So I'm going to try to not get yelled at by Mayor Grove or any of the cronies. I'm going to try and have Mr. Bassador keep himself away from me. I will be addressing that issue. Hey, Lou, cat scratch. Louie. Okay. I'm gonna mod you, okay? Is that cool? Hold on, I'm in a fight with it. Maybe. Let's see if it's working now. It wasn't working a minute ago. Some guy tried to argue it with me. Brent was on it though, but he said they had some form of water damage, which explains all this. Where I don't see any praying mantis. I better stay in its spot. Me and the littlest one might gotten a spat with a June bug last night. I'm not sure which one of us won, but he went missing. All right, I give up. It doesn't work. If I was handicapped, I'd be locked out. I do have a visual representation. Oh, I better get it. Okay.
So in the project area, we've completed field surveys where Volkert's survey team has actually measured the easement acreage from the IDOT right-of-way to define the easements for every landowner that's impacted by the project. And this is a transmission easement.
Thanks.
We've completed environmental surveys at this point, and we have proposed access routes completed. A lot of those conversations are between Amron and the landowners. They know the land better than anybody, so we ask the questions to the right people. They've educated us about access, where we will impact the ground least amount. Upcoming is soil borings, so that's the next phase. So what Amron's bringing to LaSalle is the request for easement consideration and authorization for prepaid damages. The market value offered for the city of LaSalle parcel that is just south of Rotary Park. The total easement acreage is 3.209 acres. The market value for M2 zoning is $55,000 an acre. So running math on that, it is $176,500 for the easement value paid one time. And we could split that over a couple of years if that's what you direct. And then there's a separate consideration for prepaid damages, which is averaging $350 per acre. So the easement value is actually 100% of market value, which is in excess of the 80%. And prepaid damages is valued at $350 an acre. So that total is like $1,123. Anyway, there is an incentive though that was offered to all landowners on the preferred route for $2,500 per parcel. So that was from all 64 parcels. If a landowner signed the easement within 30 days of receiving the easement package, it was offered to everyone, and that stands for the city of LaSalle. So that brings the total easement value to $179,000 if it is signed by May 1st. Does anyone have
Any thoughts and questions? I know, this is a discussion that through the veteran and Frank Brown have been having. You know, I think it's such big work, we appreciate you for that, we should do our due diligence. We talked about, initially another proposed well, goes along Route 6, which I think we all agree with, kind of increase some neighborhoods here, maybe some additional growth in our commercial area. So we definitely appreciate the fact that, reconsidering that, and just going through the route that you chose. Obviously, we have a great partnership with Amron, a lot of good work in our history, and build that partnership going forward. And also, there's not direct power off this line, but it gives us ability, right, for power, for different issues. So, I personally think, good shape right here, I think it's a fair thing, but it's up to council to decide.
This is 100-foot easement, the way,
Yes, sir.
okay. What can you exactly do in the easement?
Absolutely, fair enough. Structures within the 100 feet that would inhibit the ability for us to access and to maintain our lines, that would be a restriction, of course. But if the city of LaSalle, if we sign the easement now, let's say, down the road, you're like, hey, I really want to develop this land into something that has a vertical structure height. And of course, we would never want to inhibit economic development for LaSalle, right? But we have a group at Amron that's called Transmission Maintenance Group, and we would request site plans for that development, and the engineers would perform, an analysis to make sure that any improvement wouldn't interfere with the safe reliability that the line provides.
So there's always room for discussion.
Always. Absolutely, and it happens a lot. This is a normal.
It's a good question, that.
It's a very good question. Thank you for asking it.
I have a question. Are they the large towers, like they did on Macomia Drive?
Yeah, that's
I don't know
correct.
if you're familiar with those.
Yeah.
Yes, those, okay, thank you.
Yeah. So they measure between 80 and 120 feet vertical clearance.
And those are the ones that come over the north side, right, of our park.
Yeah, yes. Yep.
And is it correct that 176,500, that is basically 100% of what your market rate is indicating, correct?
Yes, sir.
And Jim also reached out to his local appraiser just to see that feasible. And Jim said we could always have appraisal again, if we extra money for it, but I think since that appraiser fell, we're coupled the two with obviously appraisal, so.
That question, since it's 100, that's 100 foot, that's the access. Who maintains everything underneath it? I mean, if there's trees everywhere, we park forest that front. I'm just wondering, how is that maintained? We continue to maintain it as a city, and you just have the easement to enter it, what you gotta do, you still maintain it, or?
So the initial, if there is vegetation, incompatible vegetation that's in the 100-foot that it stands today, that will be fully removed, fully cleared. We do not, Amron does not do stump grinding, and I did bring with me today, in case there were vegetation clearing questions, and Bob, you asked a perfect question for this. I brought Jeremy Moore, who's our vegetation supervisor, with us. He lives within 40 minutes of LaSalle, and he'll be the long-term Amron vegetation supervisor. So if you have questions years to come about patrolling the line and and if there's spraying or maintaining of that line and patrolling the line, he is going to be your point of contact, and will share his information with the council as well. But the initial clearing is cleared at grade or maybe a 2-foot reveal. Amron does not do stump grinding. The city of LaSalle will maintain fee ownership, so you have full control of the property.
Will we have all those mature trees at the beginning of the park? Is this gonna affect any of those mature trees?
No.
No.
This is south of the soccer field, so it's along the county highway at the top of the hill.
Right.
There's very few big trees up there. and it's actually along hole number 7, 8 of our disc golf. So we're gonna be mowing and keeping that area down anyway, we don't want those scrubs to grow. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I think Todd's referencing, or maybe you might be, from the beginning, the south entrance to the park and the north entrance to the park is on that tree line. Is there gonna be any holes there?
We are south of the soccer, it turns, at the very south corner of here, so it doesn't make it to Rotary Park proper.
So the little farm before, or?
It turns and then it crosses 39. and
Right.
east.
Right. And it turns, it's south, like the celebration around the soccer fields, it's south of that.
Okay, so that's that extra 25 acres we have, that we haven't done anything with.
Well, you have a disc golf course on it.
Is it on that part?
Yeah.
Any thoughts or questions?
Don't touch this before you go through, so. Thank you.
I'd like to open the meeting up to public comment. As kind of stated before, we're gonna use this time to hear from our residents, constituents, with concerns, any thoughts on these outside folks who don't necessarily live in the south. We're gonna use this time, I personally use this time to take your answers. I thought something, it's up to the alderman, actually, to do the same thing, let the folks talk, it's up to them what they wanna do. I noticed in our last meeting, I thought was really good, is some of the issues that were brought up during public comment, we kind of answered some of those throughout the course of the meeting, and I think that might be a good way to do that. Obviously, we're still available to, other ways of communication, but I thought we're done real well, so. Again, when you come forward, please state your name for the record.
John Hicks. Joe, the Rotary Park air monitor has not been functioning since April 12th at 7 p.m. I have searched their website since I was told that there are readings I can view there. The only readings I could find were from the library air monitor. If I'm missing Rotary Park's readings, please show me where they are after the meeting. Otherwise, what was the point of us getting the air monitor if it is continually not working? I'm curious to know why we have signs on Sterling Street that say no parking, and yet Thursday, April 18th at 8:06 a.m., there were 2 semis on opposite sides of the street, parked and blocking all traffic in front of Karis Chemical. And before anyone says, why didn't I call the police, think about how many times LaSalle PD has helped Karis versus how many times they've gone up against them. I know people have been complaining online about parking tickets downtown. Funny enough, I noticed on Wednesday, April 17th, a black 2007 Mercedes-Benz E350, I have the plate number if you want it, parked out front of the Maytag building all day. I checked several times since I was running multiple errands that day, and the car never moved. Keep in mind, I used to be the meter maid for LaSalle, so I am diligent about how cars park and if they have moved at all. And yet there was never a ticket placed on their windshield. This car is there fairly often. Speaking of the Maytag building, April 30th, isn't that when CL Enterprise is supposed to be done with the Maytag building? So what happens when they don't honor their agreement again with you? Just keep giving them extensions? Once again, we need accountability here. I continue to witness favoritism in this town and especially in these city meetings. Andy Bassador, I can throw you further than I trust you. Between your buddy-buddy relationship with Andy Gibbs and you telling me that my neighbor's house just needs a coat of paint, when in actuality it's been falling apart for years, or at least since the first time lightning hit that house. There's holes all the way through that animals are climbing in and out of, but maybe it's just your vision failing because it's a county board member's house. I don't see Chris Perry here tonight, but I do want to address that some of the things that he says in these meetings contradicts what some of his family has actually said that they've heard him talk about. So I want him, if he's watching this live, to keep that in mind. Also, if the water is so great, then why does Karis get their drinking water from Nicollet? I've seen their delivery truck several times. Mayor Grove, I've noticed some similarities between you and Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard. You speak of accountability and transparency. I'm sure most of you know the movie Princess Bride. The whole, I don't think it means what you think it means. Just imagine for a moment if we had an honest back and forth conversation. What's the worst that could happen? Most of us would have gone away if you had answered our questions honestly. We will continue to come to these meetings until you act right. And your Family Feud game you played made you and this town look like a joke. On April 13th, I witnessed a live video from Bikers Against Predators of a pedophile being gently ushered into the backseat of a LaSalle police car. There was no cuffs, no armbar holds, no aggression. Even when they arrived at the station, he walked in like he was getting a tour of the place. It's great to know that pedophiles who victimize children are treated kindly. Someone who speaks out of turn and isn't polite will be threatened with arrest. I've realized people don't want to say CL Enterprise when talking about the Maytag building, or Kaskaskia, or Karis Chemical, or even just the name Linda Karis. She's not the boogeyman or Voldemort, even though she does slightly resemble him. John, you have made rude comments multiple times about me, including my motivation to attend these meetings. You even made accusations that this was all personal. You wonder why some of us stopped coming around. It might have something to do with you bragging about being with other women while you were dating your now wife, Tara.
Oh, God.
Lisa Dias, 444. I just wanted to double check, we talked earlier in the year about our driveway footings that were tore up to put in our curbing, which is greatly appreciated on Zinc Street. And I was told that ours would be replaced because of the poor quality of concrete. There's probably 1,000 pits in the driveway footing. They said they would do it in the spring. Somebody went up and looked at it. I was just wondering if we had a rough idea when that would be done. I know we have a vacation coming, and my husband likes to get the boat in and out of the driveway and things, so if there was a approximate time when that would be, because we won't park our boat on the street like some people park trailers and don't get tickets for. We do try to follow the rules, so is there an approximate timing for this project?
Feel free to contact me. Yes,
And your name is?
I'm the city engineer.
City engineer. Okay, thank you.
Hello, Dina Hicks. Questions on a couple different things. First thing is this code red, is it supposed to be for emergencies specifically? Because it's not, and I was wondering, since it's not, if there is something we can do for non-emergency information, like what comes out of code red now? Because if you get a code red and there is an emergency, a lot of times you just hit, go to voicemail or whatever, because you know it's gonna be about something in the city. If we could have something that was specifically emergency related, that we knew, oh shoot, I gotta listen to this, that would really be, helpful. I know it's the end of the fiscal year, and I've been kind of interested, well, actually very interested into, finances and how they're allocated through the city for each department, for the year. So I am at the understanding we're gonna have a public meeting where we're going to explain all this to us in an open meeting or whatever. So do you explain when we have this meeting, like, does each, since you're not all supposed to get together, does each department go and meet with you or the mayor and then for the year, and then you decide what's done? Do you have, like, say, this really needs to be done and it's important for safety, can we pull money from this department to add to this department? Is it just a free-for-all? Is the motor fuel tax the only money that goes for road projects or road projects and other things like that put out for bid previously and already done? How do you choose? Does each board have so many things that they say, hey, this is what I would want for my award this coming year? I mean, are these things gonna be answered in this meeting? And this roof, I don't quite understand. If nobody knew that this roof was needed, or gonna be done until they opened their packet that they were given on a Friday, how was it done already? Or at least part of it?
I can't hear.
You can't answer me? Or do you not know? Okay. Thank you. We kind of brought this up the last time about no mow May. Since you give, tickets for people who have grass hire, is no mow May, since this is not, this is like a big thing for the bees and the pollinators not to cut your grass during May. Is there any opportunity for us who would like to participate in this to do so, or would we just get fined by the city? And bringing up grass, if somebody calls the city and says, hey, I can't cut my grass, I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm sick, whatever, is there an opportunity for them to have something done by the city? Are they charged by us? How can we help these people who can't actually do it themselves? And if they reach out to you before they get ticketed,
I'll talk to you about that. It's
Oh,
all,
thank
it's
you.
all under, it's all taken care of. It is.
okay, it's all taken care of. Okay. All right, so then I have another thing here. 2 questions about the water. I got this book for free. This, very nice book, actually. Nice information. But it tells you in here about all the wells and when the wells were drilled and whatnot. And it says, as of October of 2001, the city actually used about 300 million gallons of water per day. And of that, or not 300, 3 million. And of that 3 million, 1.5 was used by the city and 1.5 was used by CARES. And it says, as demand and growth continue to increase throughout the city, it's expected that additional capacity will be needed. Okay, understandable. But then in this agreement with CARES from the new.
Your 5 minutes are up. That's it.
Oh, thank you.
You go first.
Good evening, I'm Brianne Hicks. I've been a resident of LaSalle for the majority of my life. Especially in the meetings here, I prefer to observe you guys and kind of see how things pan out. And I'm not much one to speak out. I do not like public speaking or publicity in any way, shape, or form. So, there were just a couple things that I felt I just wanted to address. Mainly the parks within LaSalle. Matheson Park is right down the street from my house, so I drive by it pretty much twice a day, going home to and from work. So there's just, certain updates and things that I think we could focus on with our parks that are within walking distance. Rotary is a beautiful park. It has an awesome scenic, walking path. It has a great dog park. And I think what we're doing over at Rotary is fantastic. However, I think we should be also incorporating some other things into our more local parks, because these are, right outside of people's houses. They can easily walk there. They're accessible. So I think just adding more toys or equipment or things for children to play with, maybe also also like updating the cap fence barriers, like the yellow caps, those are old and faded. I've noticed that we're not putting the swings away in the winter season as well. I wasn't sure if that was a new thing that we were doing. Oh yeah, and we used to have the horseshoes in the sandbox and stuff over at Matheson as well. And we used to have a lot of trees in Plant Life, I feel, that we've lost over the years. So I feel like we've lost a lot of things within the park, but we haven't kind of gained anything back. And I know some of the trees were diseased or dying or what it was, but I feel like that would be very important for our future generations to have trees within our parks and more landscaping. And then some ideas, which may or may not already be in place, for like the Rotary Christmas lights. I would like the option personally to be able to like walk through it rather than drive. I think that could be more self-paced for people who like to take their time, and then if people want to rush through it or they want to take their time to go through it slowly, then they have that option. We could also be charging fees per vehicle. If we are in a deficit for putting up these lights every year, I think charging a fee for the vehicles and or charging the businesses to put up these decorations or their advertisement would also be a good idea, especially if we're paying our city employees to go out and put up and dismantle these decorations. I think that we just have a lot of opportunity and growth for changes, and I would like to see some good things happen throughout the state.
Right here. Give me a second.
Can you please state your name for record?
Good citizen of Peru. Actually, I needed it properly placed. All right, you ready, John? Need it this way. Okay. I'd like to start off by announcing that I am here tonight thanks to a personal invite from Mayor Grove. You may wonder, isn't that the same man who hangs his head in shame every time I get up here? Yes, that's him. The mayor has officially stated I can bring all issues to you aldermen. What exactly is this man being paid for again? During meetings, I sometimes go into the lobby to narrate, calm my anxiety, or ask a question. The men's softball guys are allowed to speak loudly in a group out there while a meeting is going on. They also get to speak out of turn in here. The second I asked one question in the lobby 2 weeks ago, Grove wanted the door closed. Andy Bassador hopped up, came into the lobby stating, "You're either in or out." He had his body blocking the way for me to get in this room. I was highly upset as my sheriff's office incident occurred in a doorway. I told him he needed to get out of my way as I wasn't going through with him there. He did back off, and I came back into the meeting. I didn't even know who he was. I had noticed him at meetings before in the audience. In fact, the city engineer wasn't here for some reason. Andy Bassador used his seat and nameplate. It's clear that the so-called leadership in this room is a source of this behavior. Y'all have been so crooked, so corrupt, Grove, that you have random city employees trying to boss me around and blocking the door. Once I re-entered the meeting, I spoke a few words, and this guy hollered out my first strike. That's right, I can't speak in the lobby, the meeting, I can't even walk out to calm myself without being spoken down to. You don't scare me, buddy. You want to talk about threats? 6 days before my setup arrest, my life was threatened by public bloodsuckers. Tara Hyde and other sheriff's office employees were recorded manifesting the desire to punch me, slice my throat multiple times, not send help if I were to crash, have me arrested, and more as I stood feet away. Due to the safety concerns, I was held in the Grundy County Jail for 6 weekends. I spent only a few hours in our county. While in Grundy, I had the pod to myself, halfway decent food, TV, books, even berry vapes. But most importantly, I had some great corrections officers. Many of them were humble, filled with humility, smiles, participated in my interviews, powered through my pop quiz, all while completing their duties. I was treated right when no one was around, when their only true accountability was their own integrity. There was one real issue, and it was taken seriously. By the end, many of them received thank you goodbye letters detailing what I noticed and appreciated. Their jail administrator also received letters noting their strengths. I'm telling you this because even when no one was looking, when I had no camera for evidence, I was given more respect than I have received from multiple of you in this room, and you know who you are. What did I do here? Spoke the truth about the issues in this town? About them targeting Jamie Hicks and others who speak up? Mayor Grove makes it known that he believes women have less worth than men. The women's bathroom here in City Hall had a death trap sink for how long? Are you guys aware that there is no bin for discarded feminine products? These items are covered in bodily fluids. To dispose of them, a woman must leave the stall, go to the furthest point of the bathroom, and use the lidless, overflowing trash can. This can lead to trails across the floor, little Johnny grabbing a used product while his mommy's in the stall, or even better, flush tampons and pads. Where am I at, John?
3 minutes, 45 seconds.
Master Tyrant Grove didn't care about this either. It's still not fixed. Remember, we're just baby-making broads PMSing and bothering the men. You are all allowing the tax on Mr. Hicks to drain the tax dollars, knowing damn well that this has been a witch hunt from the start. I expect you council members to demand better out of yourselves than this bully. Any remaining time is being used to send good vibes to Jamie Hicks after what you've done to that man. Keep doing your nod of shame, Grove. Now I will do my demonstration while we send the good vibes, okay? This is what a woman has to do to dispose of a feminine product. We gotta carry it and hope it doesn't drip everywhere, right? And this is actually closer, Grove. This is actually closer than where the nearest trash can is for the women in the bathroom. I brought this up to you, and you really didn't care. You can go to $1.25 Tree and handle it, but you didn't. Okay? As of today, as of 10 minutes ago.
Your 5 minutes.
Thanks, John.
Any other public comments?
Hearing none, I would like to jump if we could on what order, so we can get on the syrup on the road and move forward to the resolution for the Amron thing.
I'll second.
Motion on the various, second on Jackson, to go on order and, take, action, no action on the, under orange resolutions, the agreement with Amron. Take roll, please.
Okay, Alderman Bastor.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
O'Leary. Judson.
Aye.
Herndon.
Aye. Resolution orders authorizing transfer of agreement of easement to Amron of 100 wide strip of Warden Park premises and Detroit blacktop and waiting minutes.
Your Honor, I move we approve the resolution and ordinance authorizing transfer grant of easement to Amron of 100-foot wide strip of road.
Second.
Motion Alderman Jefferson, second Alderman Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Please take the roll.
Yes.
Each and every alderman has a copy.
Alderman Thompson.
Aye.
Reynolds. O'Leary. Judson.
I had to come up for a minute. My nerves are getting me. That fucking asshole. Hey, you know what though? He looked up the whole time. He did that for most of the speakers. I think he planned on that. Fucking crybaby. I don't know if you guys saw it from my camera angle, but I pulled a tampon out of a water bottle that I'd painted red. And I drug it all the way to the nearest trash can. You'll probably see it on the other video that when I post that. All right, back to the meeting. Also, this is the Officer Bray here. Yeah, I know. I was struggling, but you'll see it. But this is the Officer Bray that refused to take my pop quiz and told me I was looking for attention. Thank you, Lou. You've been on it, man. Appreciate it.
Replace secondary draft pool and related matters.
Move that we allow Amron.
Second. Motion on Barry, someone Gibson, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried.
Request from Colton Chanel and William Hacking of the detour to install a double-sided lighting sign at 328 Third Street and related matters.
Your Honor, I move we grant the request from, the detour on six to install that double-sided, lighted sign at 328 Third Street.
Second. Motion Alderman Bassler, second Alderman Thompson, take the roll, Madam please.
Yes. Alderman Reynolds.
Aye.
LeBarry. Jepson.
Aye.
Herndon.
Aye.
Gassidor.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Request from Maria McGanna of La Michoacana for a special event permit to utilize the pocket park at 540 First Street for a Day of the Kid event and related matters.
Your Honor, I recommend that we authorize that and allow them to do it. I think for those of you who've ever been where they have this, it's something to see. So I highly recommend you check out another culture's holiday. I think it'd be a great opportunity for
Right, this was short notice, they got all their insurance information and everything.
It was short notice in that the event's gonna take place shortly after this council meeting. She did give it to us a couple, 2 to 3 days before deadline. But yeah, the only thing the staff had recommended was she gets certificate of liability insurance, which we have done previously for other events that have similar.
All right, I'll second. Motion on Thompson, second on Gibson, take the roll, please.
Yes. Alderman LeBarry. Jepson.
Aye.
Herndon. Gassidor.
Yeah, Lou, I don't live in LaSalle, but Peru and LaSalle border each other. So I live like 2 blocks over the city limit line for them, 2 or 3 blocks. But they wish I lived further.
You go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nick Fox. I am the new Vice President of Construction and Development for Seal Red. I was brought on specifically to get this location, amongst others, kickstarted and finished. So this request is to start that process of getting Amron into our building. We have to upgrade the service. We have to bring the service down the alley and into our space.
So you're paying somebody to do that?
Correct, absolutely.
So it'll be, it's not just gonna be filled in if it's asphalt, it gets re-asphalted.
I will put stone back in. It'll be a very narrow trench. I'll put stone back in and 4 inches of asphalt on top unless you want something else.
That's what I requested.
There you go. Thank you.
That's what Brian requested, and from what I understand, you've got a contractor lined up.
I do.
And it's one that the city's familiar with, it's,
Yes, my project manager has already gotten the contracts in place.
and I think it should be clear that the only thing on the agenda tonight related to is their request on that, and if there were to be a motion to approve the request, it would be in regard to breaking ground in the alley diamond right away north of 801-29 First Street, subject to protecting easement rights and also subject to the developer restoring the premises as he's indicated would. Present existing condition, and with the understanding that in event any maintenance is necessary, it'll be at the cost of the developer and our Amron, and always with the duty to restore the premises to appropriate condition.
What's the council pleasure?
Thank you.
I got a question, sir.
Sure.
You're in charge of this project?
I am now, yes.
What do you think, when do you think you'll have it done?
So we're working on the base building work now and the apartments above. We held off on the site work concrete because of the weather, and now, once we get the, underground in, I can finish the concrete. That's gonna take another probably 2 to 3 months for the storefront to get replaced. So we have to order it and get it, delivered. It takes a little bit of
So
time.
just so you know, I wasn't bringing it up, but it's on the date.
Sure.
Tomorrow's the deadline for the agreement we have.
Okay.
So we'll be contacting you after tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Let's see where you're at.
I'll be available at any time.
And I'm clear, because the agreement was met even before I make a motion to accept this, the TIF money doesn't get transferred because they're, right?
Yeah, well, that's not on the agenda. This, tonight has nothing to do with, the TIF money. I think, Mayor, you're correct, there was to be a 16 months, but I think technically it was from the date signed, so it's technically, I think, January 9th to May 9th, but you're right, they're right on the deadline, very close.
At next meeting, we'll obviously have a lot more to talk to you, but unless, right now, I'll be honest with you, I'm in the same boat as you guys. I don't think it's done. Honestly, I appreciate your honesty. But we'll talk more.
Okay, sounds good.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
You're with CL,
Yes.
right? All right, do they have any plans at all for the hotel?
Yes, there are plans for the hotel. I don't know more than I can say at this time.
Do they have somebody in charge of that project?
That will be me.
That will be you?
All the plans are done and ready to go.
Well, they've been telling us that for like 10 years.
You know what, for the entire council, I can't speak to the past. All I
Right.
can speak to is what I'm gonna do in the future.
All right.
And that's why they brought me on to do that.
Do you have any idea if you're gonna do anything with it?
Well, I've already cleaned up the inside of it. There's a lot of stuff that has been done since my very short time here. We got inside and cleaned it up, made it safe, swept up, got it ready to start the construction process.
Nathan, you know, I talked to him numerous times. Well, we got these fancy books showing us the pillows and the parking and all this stuff, and then they come another year. And are you gonna be any different than Nathan?
Well, I'm not gonna disparage Nathan in any way, shape, or
No, no,
I'm here for a very specific, reason and mission is for the construction and development.
Okay,
So that's for the construction projects, that's why I'm here.
okay.
So I'll be different in that, that's my sole purpose.
But we are gonna
He
start
does
seeing
everything
something with
else,
the
I do
hotel.
just that.
We are gonna start seeing some
You
work.
are gonna see movement, yes. I cannot tell you when.
We might have a discussion again to see how to get an agreement with the Cascade, just like we have with, So tonight, the Amron is just to get moved forward with this project, try to complete it. You guys are paying for the cost, your
Correct.
payment, how it was found, and.
Absolutely.
So that's the issue tonight. Obviously, this is in the future, and that's probably not your gentleman's responsibility. I'm sure it'll be part of it.
I make a motion that we authorize CL Red to break ground immediately between First and Second Valley to the streets to install a conduit connection with Amron and the related construction with that, and they'll bring it back to normal after they're completed.
Second. Motion, Alderman Thompson, second, Alderman Jefferson, please take the roll.
Alderman Jefferson.
Aye.
Herman. Vastor.
All right,
Thompson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
LaBerry.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Reports to the office.
Treasurer's report for March 2024 showing total cash balances in LaSalle State Bank of $10,424,612.23 and in Hometown National Bank of $8,005,922.99.
Second. Motion on LaBerry, second on Hernan, accept the report, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carried. Communications.
Communication from the National Weather Service Chicago recertifying the city of LaSalle as storm-ready community.
So we were one of the first, meetings in Illinois, I think one of the first 5 I was told they had a meeting. Obviously, this is an insurance policy, we hope we never have to deal with it, we've seen a lot of that in the news, like tornadoes and stuff, but there has to be a plan of what to do after that. Brought up by Eddie Dessler, now, our chief mechanic, for doing that, notarization, it's good to have. We probably doing a tabletop drill in the future, to get everybody involved in what your responsibilities are. I just wanna make sure, we communicate that we are with that still, and it's a good thing to have. Motion placed on file.
Your Honor, I would make a motion to place on file the communication from National Weather Service, properly certified the city of West Alpha, the storm drainage committee.
Motion on Martin, second on Barry, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? And just a reminder, I think one of somebody brought on,
use their microphones.
Remember the 20-year mark we just recently too. It's very sad. But, discussion, potential recommendation regarding bid award for 2021 MFT and non-MFT program. Council's pleasure. Brian,
Any questions? We had the opening, last Thursday. Universal was a little bitter. About 5% under my estimate, and, Advanced was just slightly over my estimate, so two comparable bids. All the paperwork's ready to go. They wanna start, next week if they can, middle of next week, so I'd like to get it moving forward.
Is that the most weeks that was on that list?
Yes.
Yes, months ago?
Right.
Nothing got good. Okay, I'll make the motion to award the contract to Universal.
I'll second.
Motion on Alderman Barry, someone Ambassador, take the roll, please.
Alderman Herndon.
Aye.
Vassar.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Blueberry.
Aye.
Jefferson.
Aye.
Just for, point of order, it was kind of brought up about how we kind of did get the roads, and a lot of times we're gonna look at roads that might get more use than others. I think we gotta do the best we can with the funds we have. But this time, we had a situation where the same amount of money was allocated to each ward. And obviously, depending on how many blocks of that ward or what needs to be done on it, obviously has an effect on the cost of that. So right now, each alderman kind of gives their input, and then we often have to narrow it down. We like to see more done as possible. But that's how we do it. So some wards are gonna be in really good shape, just because they're not doing stuff, and other wards might not. So sometimes one ward might get more work on this, or ward the last couple of years has been a lot of work, that's a very time and needed it. And I see the future here for board boards in real good shape. That's third ward. So we're trying to do our best throughout the whole city. Brian knows we'll be talking shortly about Richard Out Road, shortcut, and 8th Street from Cruzette to Sterling, and that'll be another project we'll be working up, hopefully sometime this year still, Brian, to move forward with that with different funds. So the motor fuel tax fund that we use, that's strictly going to be used for the roads. That money there is a different type of fund, but it's going to be used for roads. And in TIF district, we can use that money in TIF. So anything that falls in the TIF district, our downtown, we can do some road work next year, but like our sidewalks, that can be used with TIF money only. Unfortunately, where I live at Twisted Freeze, Border, Sterling, that's not TIF. So they have to wait for the fuel tax money, or we have to actually use our general fund money, and unfortunately, we don't have extra money in the general fund to do that. So we have to use our basic motor fuel tax money, unless it's a TIF area where we can use that money.
As to answer your question, we were very fortunate in the fourth ward due to the project that Brian had to bring on the sewer separation and the other projects he had to start out with. Like relieving the pressure of rainfall and stuff like that. So that's why the majority of those in the fourth ward, that's why most of them over there, like your house, is all newer and taken care of, or most of it.
Does that be out of the sewer fund?
I have a question.
I'm sorry, we're not taking.
So Mary is.
Ordinance fixing wages for non-union employees of the city of LaSalle, Illinois, commencing May 1st, 2024, and ending April 30th.
I'm sorry, where are we at?
I jumped ahead.
Okay, so did we motion on MFT? We did. Okay, so standing committees.
Standing committees.
Discussion of potential action regarding the recommendations of Finance and Economic Development Committees regarding selection of fiber service provider and related matters.
Your Honor, the Finance Committee recommends, it was a motion that we go with Geneseo Communications, fiber service. Actually,
Oh, shit.
Alderman, did the finance committee consider Alderman Tech and bring up here, wait on that?
He said we're not taking any questions. Like you tyrant fucking thug pig. What a dirtbag. And then he wonders why he won't be mayor anymore.
Regarding potentially entering into a potential non-exclusive agreement related to broadband internet service and related matters. Yes, does it need negotiating committee or? No, I don't think that is necessary.
Second, motion on Barry, second on Thompson, take roll.
Alderman Bassler.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
LaBerry. Jepson.
Aye.
Certainly any agreement that would potentially be entered into would have to come back to the full council for its consideration in any event. And probably we'll go to finance
Point of
committee
order,
first.
this doesn't mean that, Bob's internet service can't come in and try to put internet in.
Yes.
This would be them a situation where Geneseo had a chance to basically be the sole one that in the market for the city. But again, it's pretty capital, but again, size of our community, if one group gets in here, very, very the ones that probably stay because they want to try to get as much of the profit share as possible. So, because, we all know fiber's not cheap, but and they want to have as much, but like Bloomington Normal, they have 5, 6, 7 carriers on it.
Very good points here.
Don't say funny stuff. I'm gonna get kicked out. Just imagine drinking this death water. Yeah, special treatment if it's about fucking shitty ass men's softball.
Alderman Thompson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
LaBerry. Jepson.
Aye.
Herman. Bassler.
Aye.
Discussion and potential action regarding the recommendation of the Finance Committee regarding a request from DELM Land Trust for a rebuild downtown LaSalle program, RCLP, grant totaling $34,380 for premises located at 536 Third Street and related matters.
On behalf of the finance committee, we voted to grant the $34,380. You voted to recommend it, and as I understand it, Alderman Pratack did not participate in that, correct? In that vote?
This is his, yeah, he filed his paperwork, but for his wife and his in-laws trust.
My point is, in deliberations with the finance committee, he did not participate in that, correct?
No, he's not.
Thank you.
And as stated during finance committee, that agenda item was amended to reflect the DDLM mattress.
Motion on Barry, second. Second, motion on Jefferson, take roll.
Alderman Reynolds.
Aye.
LaBerry. Jepson.
Aye.
Herman.
Aye.
Bassler.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Discussion on potential action regarding the recommendation of the Finance Committee regarding a request from Amron Estates for a rebuild downtown LaSalle program, RCLP, grant totaling $40,000 for premises located at 502 First Street and related matters.
Your Honor, on behalf of the finance committee, I recommend that we approve the $40,000 grant for my bird at 502 First Street.
Second, motion on Barry, on Thompson to take recommendation of the finance committee, take roll.
Alderman LaBerry. Jepson.
Aye.
Herman.
Aye.
Bassler.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Special committees. Old business.
Authorization of pay request number 2 for Autobahn Company Inc. totaling $21,444.49 for work completed to date on masonry restoration project and related matters.
Here I make a motion that we approve or authorize the payment request number 2 for Autobahn Company as read. Each alderman has a copy.
I'll second. motion, Alderman Reynolds, and Alderman Vastor.
Alderman Judson.
Aye.
Herndon. Vastor.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Blueberry.
Aye.
Discussion of potential action regarding the date selection for community cleanup event and related matters.
So I have been speaking with Alderman Crane about this. Unfortunately, he was unable to be here tonight. He did plan to attend remotely. But right now, given past conversations that we became able to provide vests, water, garbage bags, and I believe we already do have a sponsorship worked out of sorts, but I did not have a chance this afternoon to do other obligations to verify that. So I'm going to make an announcement on that today. What we're really looking for today is guidance from the council as to when to actually have the event. Did speak to Alderman Crane. His recommendation was May 18th, but the staff did advise him there's some concern that that is the date or the weekend that crews having their air show, if I remember correctly. So there's also May 11th, which is next Saturday, or the following Saturday after the 18th, which is 25th. So if those dates, council has a preference on a date there, or if there's another date that we would work out best, let us know and we can move forward. We do have a registration page created, by which people will just let us know if they're interested in taking part in the event. Once we have the date and time, they'll sign up and we can idea how many volunteers we'll have.
Yeah, there's something every weekend going on, so.
That is true.
Thanks, Brian.
Is there date of any kind that we'd like to,
Just more every weekend, right?
you're right. Yes, it is.
Brian,
Yep.
is this in conjunction with the LBA?
The LBA has been notified, and I believe that they are working on their own event. It's possible that they may line up, but it was basically said you guys kind of plan out your event, and if it lines up, LBA can join, and if not, we can maybe turn it into some sort of multi-day event. If LBA has a deal with the best for them, and we can coordinate.
Because, you know, the term cleanup is a pretty broad term, especially when most of the wards have people with quite a bit of junk and stuff that they want to get rid of.
I think we're talking about yard waste, kind of like Ms. Dan, sometimes, you know, I'm Sterling, there's stuff alongside the road, especially throughout the winter time. Everything's blowing around, and it's a way to kind of, hopefully get a fresh start after winter and then hopefully maintain it.
Okay, I think we need to explain that to the public though.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a junk day.
Yeah.
Memorial Days where we put everything out. Good point. I don't think that's well, it is, right?
That's seems to be the
Spring cleaning.
context that I would understand.
Are you trying to do that?
If there's a preference, I guess let us know. If not, then staff will work with Alderman Crane and just set that date. I just wanted to bring it to the council to see if you had any preference for it.
25th and 6th is still, the arts and music in place in part two that the Rotary Foundation puts on to raise money for food and drugs. Yeah,
The vendor thing's during the day. I think that's the only concern is might take some volunteers away.
that's, I mean, sometimes you get the same volunteers that are setting up for those things, or it's like a double shift for them.
Did you wanna take a show and pick a date? Share it?
Share it. Who wants them up?
Okay, we'll wait till it's on the joint.
I will talk to Alderman Crane and we'll probably, I imagine we're not gonna have time to come back to you, so we'll probably just set the date, go to announcement when we have it, and then go from there.
Just set a date, let the chips fall where they may.
You can contact me with any questions or Alderman Crane, both of us are.
We won't get a date, but everybody will have it, so.
Authorization of payment for McDaniel's Marketing totaling $20,000 for website project management and associated services in relation to the matching Illinois.
I was gonna ask if these dickheads were gonna provide gloves, but of course the mayor couldn't handle himself. Couldn't handle himself. Acts like a 2-year-old.
Website project management and association services in relation with the matching Illinois travel and tourism grant and related matters. Each Alderman has a copy.
Second. Motion on Barry, second on Gibson. Take your roll, please.
Alderman Griffin.
Kurt, you wanna talk a little bit about the grant and how it's paid for this?
Sure, so this was a grant that we applied for the Illinois Office of Travel and Tourism. It's a marketing and promotions grant. It's a matching grant, so the total cost for a website tourism marketing and brochure to combine not only just tourism, but also economic development. So when we're, we'll say, courting people or directing people to invest in the community or find active events and things like that, this would be the primary site to go to for them. The total cost was $20,000, so 10 from us, 10 from the grant. And we went with McDaniel's marketing firm. The state wanted to know if we were going to be able to pay for this within their fiscal year, which will be ending shortly. And so this is kind of why we're doing it now instead of, let's say, the end of the year.
It's a good grant again. We really meet with the team for the website group today. Our staff did, and I know Kurt and some of the stakeholders in town. So we kind of introduced them to them.
This one was live last time.
Oh,
it's open this time.
I think he's got a website 15 years old, it's great. And obviously, we can down as far as availability, things that we, do with the other websites. So good job, Kurt, doing that, that's great. And we usually put us in the tool in the toolbox. Thank you.
Alderman Herndon.
Aye.
Fastener.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
Blueberry. Jefferson.
Aye. Well, we're under old business, I'd like to address, John talking about the air monitor. Thanks for bringing that to my attention, I was unaware that it was not operating properly.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I checked that, look on the app, and you're right, it has been working for quite some time. But, let's look into it and get it back up. So, thank you.
Is there something I can do as far as like a phone number that I can call so I don't have to bug you every time it goes down?
There's the, like, if you're on the app, there's a number you can call on there. But it must be something on our end, so that's maybe just something loose or the weather-related issue or something like that.
I even went out and looked just to see if that was the case and it didn't look like anything was out of place, so.
Well, let's check it out. How to park it, if it's, something, I'd have to call, I do that, so.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Joe.
Other old business, I guess, I come over to recognize, a green volunteer in the city of Sal, RJ Newell, passed away. A lot of people might know her from helping the NOPAC. She did a lot of, any private events, if people had, somebody was sick, she was the first one there to help out and join in and her fundraisers and help out. She was one of the dancing witches that we had at Halloween. I think this year they went out and danced as owls this year. But we want to appreciate her, her family, and her thoughts and prayers. Again, she was a great volunteer, for the city, the community, and if you look on Facebook, there's a lot of people that are recognizing that and appreciate her for that. Do want to talk a little bit about it was brought up about our appropriations, and that will be something that will be coming up here, in the next month or two. We have to have done by the end of July. And I don't know, John, if you want to talk about that a little bit, I can start, you can jump in. So the council here, under my recommendation, basically approves appointments of different staff, public works, fire chief, police chief, engineer, parks, rec, economic development. Those folks have a budget, and they come back to John, who's going to be financial keeper, with their thoughts, concerns, and projects, and what might be allocated for that year. And then what John does is he'll let us know about it. He usually meets with 2 hours at a time, for the Open Meetings Act, he can do with 2 people. And then in addition to that, we usually have a special finance committee meeting that we always announce, usually a week before the necessity. I think it's 15 days, we've had the appropriations out there for everybody who wants to look at it. And it's a good time. John basically goes through the whole, about 2 hours long, Alderman, sometimes longer, over every line item to kind of discuss what's going on. So it's a pretty in-depth process. In fact, at our staff meeting today, John told everybody to start getting ready for, get your stuff in order, because we're gonna start meeting meetings with everybody individually to kind of go over that. So it's not a situation where we just get that deadline and, we go off, or people are going off of, their plans for the future. It's appropriations one, so what it means is we're hoping sometimes we're gonna have maybe some grants that we don't know about in next year that we're hoping to get. So there might be a situation where we put in grants, right, so we have that in there, so we know we can spend that money, because if it's not appropriated, it takes a little bit of work to try to get that money accounted for. So, sometimes it's a wish list, we hope that maybe we're getting more grants of $50,000, $200,000, but it's unknown. But obviously the expenses we know are gonna be the ones we're dealing with every day, or big projects down the line. and those are things that are in appropriations that we're talking about. So that's the process. A lot of the things that we're voting on each day, each meeting, is actually stuff that was appropriated for in the budget ahead of time. At least the money was ahead of time, and then individual projects are coming up to start spending that money appropriated for issues. Does that make sense? So that's the process there. So it's a situation where, I don't know, I guess I'm also responsible that if somebody didn't know anything about a roof, when it was time to pass that on Monday, I'll take responsibility for that. I thought we did a good job of communicating to the council, what that was, and why we had that. Just today, we basically approved the bill for the stuck point going on outside. If you guys saw the lifts out there, the man lifts, again, those are all things that the council's approved for, and now we're paying individual bills as we're going, if that makes sense. So.
That's correct, Mayor. I do meet with each department head and to try to get the working budget to a presentable form, and then we bring it to the council. We'll have a pretty lengthy meeting over the last so many years where we go through it line item by line item, and that meeting has not occurred yet. So.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about TIF, because that's been a question too, and I think it's stuff that a lot of people just assume, and it's good for all of us to talk about it. You guys get a chance with that.
Ooh, because of them not having trash bins for used tampons, I may or may not have painted one and dipped it in water and pulled it out of a water bottle and used it as my live demonstration and threw it in that trash can. I actually moved the trash can and then moved it back. So it's a pretend used tampon.
As a city, we never do the cost of the building, so we feel that we should have some skin in the game, okay? So, now there might be sometimes we might change that, it's just like a situation where it's very unique. Most times, the actual cost of the property, we don't include in that $250. So if you have to be $250,000 of electric, power, masonry work, new windows. So what that happens is, okay, I'm gonna get done with this May 1st of 2027. So after all these expenses are done, then we get the county assesses the new tax, right? So the developer's hoping it goes from 150 to 350 like the hope does. So what happens is anything that was above that 150, we'll say crazy that 325, from that 150 to that 325, that increase, the city's gonna give back to Jeff Grove for the work to put in all the taxes he's paying that month.
What a convenient way to use your position of power.
So he's not gonna be his counsel. And that's your first warning, please. People are thinking. So what happens is we're not writing a check for Jeff Grove for $250,000 when this project's done. It basically accrues over time. Every year we out pay our property taxes in July and I think September. So when those taxes are paid, we're gonna get to see the south portion only. Is that gonna be the county portion or the schools or something there? We're gonna reimburse them.
Jamie, can you post his email for Grove? We had people in there trying to get it, and you know how he has it hidden on there? It was Shauna that came back to the meeting.
The ball doesn't start, the clock doesn't start until the county comes and assesses that building and realizes, okay, the building's worth $350 now, and then we pay them back, the city pays back to the taxes, reimbursement. So that kind of works how the tip works. So I know that was brought up, and I just want people to know, it's not just a situation where we can't outrun, or you're chucking money and then there's no accountability. Obviously, you're not gonna start collecting on those taxes. So a tip is 23 years?
A TIF, when it started, the TIF one was 23 years, but the downtown TIF, like for example, that was formed in 2007, so it only goes till 2031 tax year.
So the developer, obviously, our goal is to get the developer to start at the first part of that 23 years. If I'm the developer, because I want to get as many years, because after the TIF's over, I don't get any reimbursement, okay? So I want to start off year one, hopefully, get that TIF agreement, so over 23 years, I'm getting some of that money back. So there's some projects that never get their total refund, because maybe they started 15 years into the TIF. Now, there might be situations where, they start year 20, and so they might ask if you guys get an extension of the TIF, which we do sometimes. Can we continue to get that? And it's part of the pre-agreement. We're gonna go and say, okay, you have 3 years left in this TIF. If something comes up and we're able to get it extended for another 12 years, maybe 12 years is the extension, then we will continue that again, maybe for 5 years or 6. okay? So again, this is good stuff. Again, we want to try to answer some questions as we go from the open meetings, public comment time. But again, that's a situation with that. But again, if you have other questions, John's very knowledgeable on it. I'm just high level on it. I don't know the increments of it, details of it. And I know it was brought up about parks. Those trees that died at MH Park. And we don't, any plan, we're trying to figure out some trees that will be some nice shade ones. And we're definitely looking into it. So, again, it's ultimately on me. That was done a long time ago. I should have them out there, so we'll get them out there. As far as the swings, I still actually have school-age kids. I'm old man, but I have some young ones. And even, I guess, the end of February was a good point of this. Weather was really nice. And we were one of the only communities that still had swings out. So, I mean, there's been Christmas days, Thanksgiving days, when I know families are out there because it's nice weather. Because we've actually got calls on that, hey, you know, it's beautiful out, the kids are ready to go outside for a little bit, there's no swings. So, you know, we're checking those swings every spring to make sure there's no issues with the weather. So we decided to keep them up. There's no bigger issues. That's the only reason why we kept them up. When the situation is design, it's not like trying to, you know, it's not like we forgot or, you know, was by design. That's all I have for you. Gentlemen, you guys legal business?
Mayor, one other point, as you indicated in regard to the tip, when there is reimbursement, it is generally not 100% of the taxes that they pay, even if they're reimbursed.
Correct.
It's only a percentage, it's often 50%, although it's negotiable to get a deal, and it can change.
Yeah, so Jeff Pro paid $300 in taxes to the city of South portion. Very rarely did we go with anything more than 50%, so I'd probably just give about $150. Good point.
It's also important to know that we have make whole agreements with all the taxing districts and the schools that are involved in this, so they're getting a percent back as well before we reimburse the developer, so the other taxing bodies are in agreement with it as well.
Yeah, that was something I was always very proud of as an alderman, is the Mayor Shrek. All the deals they had, they would still make sure, you know, the public schools got their share of the money before we started paying somebody else back. Because then when we made them whole, it's called making them whole. We were at meetings one time up in Chicago and we brought it up and people were like, why? Talk about that. But that's how important the schools are to us. We want to have that partnership with them. Other communities, that's their choice. They do that. So, I think going forward now, anytime people ask for a extension, I think our state legislators are basically saying, well, that's fine. We could have all your taxpayers on board to do that, which is fair, right? They just want to kind of get caught up. So, again, I'm proud to say so. People before us in our chairs always made that a priority. Good point, Jim. Everybody good on this side? You guys good? New business. New business. Ordinance, discussion, potential action on the following additional ordinance and resolution.
An ordinance making transfers of amounts of appropriated funds from one corporate purpose to another corporate purpose and related matters.
I move that we grant the ordinance making transfers of amounts of appropriated funds from one corporate purpose to another purpose. He won't call on me. Related matters, each and every alderman has a copy of it.
Second.
Motion on Hernandez, second on Reynolds.
Brief explanation on this. This is something we do every year in terms of things that we under budgeted for versus things we over budgeted for. So we transfer or increase the amount of the budget to be able to pay for expenses, and we offset that by things that we, or projects that we did not do in the appropriations. So just a little bit of maintenance.
There was a question on this in the comment period.
We'd like them all to come in perfectly, but sometimes it doesn't happen. So sometimes you adjust, I guess you pay Peter to pay for people, you're balancing the same amount of money going in and out. Correct. Just get recognized by one line item. What's up?
I think we did get a second, yeah, we're good. Alder Bassler.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
O'Leary. Jepson.
Aye.
Ordinance amending ordinances regarding certain aspects of compensation, hiring, and residency of paid on-call firefighters, first responders, members of AMIS teams, and related matters.
I make the motion that we approve the ordinance amending ordinances regarding certain aspects of compensation, hiring and residency paid, on-call firefighters, first responders, members of MABAS teams, and related matters. The alderman has copies.
Second. Motion on Reynolds, someone Thompson.
Thompson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Aye.
O'Leary. Jepson.
Aye.
Herndon.
Aye.
Bassler.
Aye.
Ordinance fixing wages for non-union employees
accept the ordinance, fixing wages for non-union employees, City of LaSalle, Illinois, commencing on May 1st, 2024, and ending April 30th, 2025, and related matters.
Motion by Alderman Dasper, second by Alderman Fury. Take the roll, please.
Reynolds, Alderman Reynolds,
Aye.
LaBerry, Jepson.
Aye.
Herndon,
Aye.
Gassador,
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
I do have one more thing I want to talk about, we'll go on to our first. Chief, did you see anything? No. John? Nothing. Ms. Amy? No. Brett? Mr. Virginia? Chief? Janet? Nothing. Mr. Fay? Nope. Kurt? Ryan Brown? Attorney Fender? Anything from this side? I have one thing I do want to say, I know next week is, National Nurses Week, and I know this area's had a lot of uncertainty as far as our healthcare and nurses, and, for a while there, well, through hospital, we had people going to, Princeton and going to Mendota and going to Ottawa, so I appreciate all those hospitals kind of taking our folks in. It's nice to have a crew back open for those staff. Again, I know there's no overstays there, but at least they're seeing us firsthand and deciding to go. But throughout that time, about the uncertainty, I guess I kind of look at healthcare missions today as somebody that is kind of like insurance policy for me, helping them have it. But as family members lately that we've been using it, and whoever blessed to have some nurses in our area that, that take care of us. So, for Jeff Grove and our family, it's appreciation day every day, because, when you need it, you definitely appreciate it. So, hats off to all our nurses and everybody involved in the healthcare next week, because it's kind of the technical week of celebration. No need for executive session tonight. Approve this.
Total submitted $1,341,951.80.
Motion, Alderman Barry, someone, take the roll, please.
And negative 2 brain cells.
Aye. Herndon. Gassador.
Aye.
Thompson.
Aye.
Reynolds.
Motion for adjournment.
Make the motion, we adjourn. Second.
Motion by Alderman Reynolds, second by Alderman Thompson, Houston, Crane. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. Thanks, everybody, for tonight. Be safe.
Mayor Grove, were they going to provide gloves for the volunteers? I tried to ask that, but I saw you ignore me. For the cleanup volunteers, like I tried to ask.
I think so.
What?
Gloves and garbage bags.
I heard water gloves or water vests and garbage bags. That's why I was curious. That's why you gotta not ignore people. You gotta treat them right. That's why they don't want to come here, bro. Shameful. I have a question, Braden. I have a question.
Is that a police-related question?
Yes.
Do you need police assistance with anything?
Do I?
Do you
Yes.
need police assistance? What is the assistance that you need from police right now?
Can you name the 5 elements of the First
I'm not
Amendment?
asking for police assistance.
What is it then?
Angel, I already told you, I'm not playing your games where you go around
Why are you
videotaping people.
so rude? This is why they put your brother in here. You got a shitty attitude. You could just say, you know what, I don't feel like participating because I don't know. Oh, you do?
But
Yeah,
I'm doing
okay.
more protest against your game. Because I do know.
Oh, you're Mr. Aggressive. Oh, I love it. Thanks, honey buns. Officer Bray still didn't find out the 5 elements.
Got some time?
Oh, that's why he's Grove's crony. Hey, at least your brother was a nice guy. Mayor Grove, please go to $1.25 Tree and get the damn trash can like I've asked you. Next time I'm flushing it all. I don't have a choice. Bye, Bray. Learn your 5 elements. Fucking asshole. Jesus. Well, if you guys noticed, that was the same Bray that was a jerk weeks ago telling me I was looking for attention. Clearly that's not the case. What's funny is they run and hide right away. You think they'd wait till the meeting clears up. Good speech. I wrote it today. I know, I was like, should I do it? I was gonna drop little pieces of paper too, but I was like, I don't want to be too extra. They might try and kick me. I could tell Bray just wanted me to go down. He was mad I came up to talk to him.
That was so good.
It got the point across maybe that jerk will
You
finally
kill,
put
you
him
kill
in.
it every time, though. I give you so much props. You are just
I can't believe I get up
good
there
with your
now.
words. And
And I was so scared the first time too. I'm excited.
I was gonna say I can tell. It's like a little rush.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they all get excited when you go up there.
Yeah, I mean, they can't do anything besides listen.
He seems just like a lonely guy. I think he just seems like a lonely guy.
Have a good night, Jeff.
I'd like to sign up.
Me too.
Get right
Have
with
a good
Jesus,
night.
Jeff. Take care.
Take care. Watch this now. Oh, hell, I'll run right into it.
Hey, it's not as bad as Rotary Park was.
We should hopefully come back when I get windows here and everything, so it'll start looking like that. But
Oh,
it's
now
been-
the weather's getting nice.
Yeah.
And hopefully, oh my God, that's things are too.
Oh, that'd be sweet. It'll all come together.
Grove, you gotta treat people better. They might want to come volunteer and clean up all the trash. I know I would. Oh, thank you. At least it's not my tampon water.
I like you, but I don't like you that much.
Right? They're lucky I didn't discover that when I was really needing it. Thank you.
Good job today.
You too.
I was shaking.
Oh, that jerk. All right, guys. Well, that's all I have for today. It's been a rather long meeting. I got to get home to the littles. Ooh, you look good on there. Maybe you could request the mayor actually take the trash can thing seriously, because it is serious. And he's literally told me now that I have to come to all of you, so you're going to get calls and emails from me.
I don't have a problem with that.
I know, but you know what? It's a bitch to call all of you.
I don't have a problem with it.
And what am I going to do when my phone shuts off and my internet shuts off?
Just remember, I'm a one-term guy. Just telling you, I'm a one-term guy.
That's even better. Hey, hopefully he's the last term guy.
This is the most important thing anybody can do is make the calls.
Right
You
on.
make the calls. Even if you don't get anywhere, at least you made the call.
That's true. Hey.
You look really pretty tonight.
Hey, thanks, honey buns.
Have a good night, guys.
Take care, everyone. All right. Well, that's all we have for today, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. I got to hunt down my keys because I learned the hard way when the LaSalle police found my stolen car. I think one of the Braves was part of it. He's a jerk. He must be really mad about my video because I haven't seen him since my video. Dude, he had a bad attitude, which is going to be addressed, actually. I will address it. I will protest right outside of his damn, right outside of there. Maybe. One day. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. Tell your friends. I will post the video from the other view in the next day or two, hopefully. Definitely not tonight. I'll see it tonight, but definitely not, so don't even count on that. I appreciate you, mods. You guys are on it. Where's their email? Let me see if I can pull it up while I'm on here. Did Jamie post it? I have it. I don't know if I can without kicking you out. You know what I'll do? I'll make a community post in just a couple minutes as soon as I get off, and I'll post it. Because they have it like hidden. They have a weird thing they do. Alright? So look out for my community post, those of you that do want the email, and I'll get it to you. We also have the mayor's work cell phone number, which he probably regrets that they gave to me. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do both. I will do both. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Tell your friends. Bye.